Hi, everybody. My name is Molly Sanford. I'm one of the 3 teachers at Whitehall High School that teaches family and consumer sciences. And in this video, I'm going to show you how I do my testing for assessments online. I use Google Forms to do all my tests, post-test, pre-test quizzes for everything. So I'm going to show you how to grade them in a grading system that will do it for you. And it really takes up, it helps with a lot of time saving instead of me doing paper tests and going through and grading them myself. And also I do pre-test. I'm going to show you the modified test if you have special needs students that you need to modify for, but you don't want everyone to see their modified test. If everyone has a test on the computer, it's hard for everyone to see whose tests might be different or modified with reduced choices or different questions. Uh, Also, if you're teaching students virtually or they're in quarantine and you want them to use a test, you can do this type. And I am going to share my, make sure my screen is shared and hide myself. When I am in my room and I'm not moving for a long period of time and I'm sitting at my desk, my lights go out. So I'm gonna minimize myself so that it doesn't look weird. Okay, so this is my Google Drive for school, and I have all my files organized by class. So I'm going to do family and consumer sciences, and this can go with any test. It didn't have to be family and consumer sciences. So I already have them pulled up actually, and this is my semester test I just gave for family consumer sciences. So go ahead if you haven't yet and go ahead and make your tests. So you can organize it by multiple choice. If you want multiple choice, I throw in some true and false questions. This is how I do my matching. Here's the word bank, and then the matching, they just pick the letter from the word bank that goes with it. Some open response questions, and that's more different types of questions through that way. So after you make the test, the first thing you want to do is take the test yourself, because when you take the test, your answers are going to be the answer key. So if you hit this little preview, I think it looks like an eyeball, and you click that, this is how the students see the test. So you're going to take the test yourself, just like you're a student. And I've already done this. I'm just showing you how I go through it. So then you would go through and answer it. I've already done this. So just make sure when you get to the end of your test that you're giving your students. This is a lot of questions. Make sure you hit submit at the very end after you take your test. So it's going to record your responses. So I'm going to leave this semester test now. So after you have taken your tests, have all your students take their test, and then you should have responses. So I've had 6 people take my test, including myself here so far. You're going to click on this little view responses sheet after that, and I've already got it pulled up right here. And this is what it will look like. This blacked out part right here are my students' emails and their names, and I blacked them out just because you're going to see their grades, and I'm trying to keep everything confidential. Now there's mine that I'll show you, my email and my name, and then there's all our answers. So after you do this, you're going to click add-ons, and you won't have this set. You'll have to get the add-on, so make sure you click get add-on, and the add-on is called Flubaroo, and it's right there, Flubaroo, and that's the add-on. And it's right here. It's got a little apple, and I've already got it installed. So you'll just have to add it and install it through yourself. Okay. So once you have it successfully installed, you'll go back to add-on, and there's Flubaroo, and I've already graded it, but it will say grade assignment, share grades, view, edit, all these other different things. So you're going to hit grade, but mine says regrade. So, and after you do that, you're going to get a new little tab that says grades. and that's where my students' names and emails will be, and then there's their grades. So how did we do this? So I'm going to go back to regrade. This will update my grades, yes. I'm going to go through a series of steps. So you'll get this first email that this usually sets itself, but you want to go through and make sure it's right. It identifies the student. You're not going to grade the email question where it's asked for your email. What is your name question? I put that on there every time just because sometimes kids get through and they'll use a personal email or some weird email and I won't know whose email goes with who. So I always put the what is your name question, and that also identifies student, and I'm not giving them points for that. The next questions were like my multiple choice questions. So that's normal grading, and I just put it at 2 points. You can put it from 1 to 10, however many points you want that question worth. And these will all be normal grading. The only thing you'll change is if you do open response, I ask them what are the 6 nutrients, what are the 5 important food groups, grade by hand, because that's what you're going to have to read. So you're going to have to grade it by hand, go and look at their answers for that question. These other ones, skip grading, let's say you didn't want them to answer that because you decided, oh, well, I didn't ask that question right. You could just skip grading on that altogether if you wanted. I'm going to go back and keep that grade by hand. So you'll do that and go through all your questions. Make sure you do the right amount of points. Then it's going to give you, this is everyone who's taken the test. This is the most important part. Make sure, because it's asking, please select which submission will be used as the answer key. Make sure it's you. I have accidentally gone through and had it as a student before, and everybody failed for some reason. And it took me a minute to realize, oh, I had the answer key wrong. So make sure that you are the answer key for the test. And then it's going to say it's grading the assignment. So please wait. Now it's grading all of the questions, but so here's all their grades. It graded everything for me except for the grade by hand questions. So you'll have to go to add-on Flubaroo, grade questions by hand for those open response ones. What are the 6 important nutrients? They put carbohydrates, lipids, proteins, vitamins, minerals, water. So you can give them. I'm sorry, I'm at school recording this. And I know it's someone's going to ask, why did you give them a 5 out of 6? Well, I told them to use the word fat, not lipids. So that's why I counted off for that one. So, and over here, you can send them notes where I could say, not lipids, fats instead. If you wanted to, you might not have time to if you want. And then you'll go to the next student on that same question. What are the 6 nutrients? They use the word lipids, and it was the same thing. So whenever you get through everyone and you want to, you can go to the next question that's open response. What are the 5 important food groups? Same ordeal. They 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 5 out of 5. Set grade. Go to the next person. Whenever you're taking the test yourself as a student, you can type in your own answer on these, and where it says review answer key, you can put what you had just in case I don't remember let's just say you can't remember the 5 important food groups. You put them on your teacher's test when you take it, and when you click this, it'll pop up right there so you can see it. And then once you do that, it'll update everyone's grades, but I've already graded those, so they're there already. So that's really the easiest way I grade my exams, you can, there's some more features. You go to add-ons in Flubaroo. You can go to share grades if you want. I would not go do share grades unless everyone is taking their tests, which everyone hasn't taken their semester test for me yet, so I'm not going to share grades. It would send them to them through their email. Then you can, I keep this the same. You can let them see the questions and what they miss if you check this box. Include list of questions and include the answer key if you want to know the right answer. Sometimes I'll uncheck both of these and I'll send it to them so they can see, okay, I made a 79 on the test, but they can't see what questions they missed or what the right answer was. That's just because I don't want everyone to know what's on the test before the next class comes in. But if you wait and do yours at the end of the day, when everyone's tested and you want everyone to see, you can check both those boxes. This show advanced options for stickers and more. I don't use this all the time, but you can set up a sticker. If a student gets less of above a 75%, I want them to get a sticker in their email that says "Way to go," and it'll send it. And I can put a little message to "You did so great today on the semester test." I'm actually going to send that to them. Now I'm thinking about it, I am going to take away the answer key on those. And now they are getting my message and their test scores, only if they made above a 75%, which if we look over here, that was everybody but one person made a 73. And now I'm going to show you the modified way I would do this for someone with an IEP. So I'm going to get off of this one. Set it up the same way as if I just give them two questions that you, or two answers to choose between instead of all four on multiple choice. True, false, that's two choices for reduced answer. Let me see. I take away the scenarios. That's what I'm trying to say. Or sorry, open response questions for students. If they have an IEP, usually, depending on the question or what their IEP says. So that's really the only difference. This is just the pretest. I give a pretest before each unit. Here's the pretest for Unit 6 Facts. It's just 10 questions I randomly select, usually from the post-test, and everyone gets it. And you can see there how many points, like they got one question out of 10 right on that. You can give them the grade like that for the pretest. I don't. I give everybody participation points for doing the pretest just because they don't know it already. So how can I expect them to know something they don't know? And it says points possible. I only make that word 10 points. Whenever you're doing your point calculations, make sure you, over here, you have it the right amount of points you want it worth. Remember, I was showing you how to set it up as grade as normal and how many points each question you wanted worth. Make sure after you get through that whole thing, it's going to say either 100 points or 50 points or add up to however much you wanted. You get a lot of statistics through this, percentages. These orange ones are questions that a lot of students didn't do too well on. So you might want to focus harder on those standards when you're teaching, if you're doing a pretest and you want to gauge your students' knowledge. You've probably noticed right here this emailed grade, like they got their grade emailed to them. For some reason it skipped these two. You can also set up an auto grade, which is what I got the pretest set up as. I'm going to go ahead and disable it, show you how to set it up. Disable. Let's see if it worked. For some reason it's not disabling. I might have to show you on a refresh. I think our internet just went down. Anyways, you can set up auto grade, and it will, you don't have to wait till everyone's done testing. It can shoot them their grade automatically to their email as soon as they get done testing. But there it goes. And that's under advanced options, enable auto grade. I usually don't do this on the post test. I just set this up on the pre-test just because everyone gets a 10 out of 10 for doing it. But they can also see what questions they missed, so they know what they need to study for more, or give them an idea of what they already know about the topic we're going to cover. Okay, so that's auto grade. Let me show you real quick how I would set it up in Google Classroom. This is just a fake classroom I made on my personal account. So I always set it up as an assignment. Got it? And like semester test. And then add it from my Google Drive. It's going slow. Just make sure you always know what you're, I know I'm clicking pre-test, but this is just an example. And make sure I add the right test, how many points I want it worth, my due date, of course, topic if you have topics. Right here is where you would modify for those certain students. Since this is a fake classroom and I have no one set up, you can select it. It would have all your students' names here, and you can assign it to every student but those students who need a modified test. Now, if I want to give the semester test modified, I always name it different. Like semester test 1 is the general ed test. Semester test 2 is the modified test. And when I'm assigning the modified test, I just click those 2, 1, 2, 3, very few students I have that are taking the modified test. And just make sure that you attach the modified test and not the regular test for them. That's why I always name it like mod test in my Google Forms whenever I'm doing it. Well, it's not coming up here. Well, there's that answer sheet. You can see mods test, just so I know that's the modified test. I think that's all I have to show you about Flubaroo and self-grading using that system. I really like it. Even before COVID, I used it for years just because I was a new teacher. I had a baby, trying to cut down on my grading and time spent at school. So I hope this helps a lot of people. I know a lot of people are already familiar with Google Forms and Google Classroom, but maybe you didn't know about Flubaroo and the add-on. There's a ton more add-ons that you could probably use, but that one's just the one I've liked. And once I find something I like, I'm probably not ever gonna go away from it unless someone else shows me something better. So I'll probably add my other video on assessment with Pear Deck in a different video clip, just because it's easier to do them separate.